A man wanted for a string of crimes in 2 counties is now fighting for his life after police say they shot him. What we've learned about the investigation.
A Laurel County teen faces multiple charges for allegedly supplying marijuana to a 12-year-old girl.
WKYT investigates how a valet company has sparked a fight for parking spots in downtown Lexington.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 6.
Good evening to you. Investigators called him the sock bandit after they say he used a sock during a robbery at a Franklin County gas station. But tonight he's in critical condition after police say they shot him.
Police say that William McKee pointed a gun at them last night when they tracked him down in Scott County. Tonight, they think that he could be behind other crimes as well. Sean Moody has our top story at 6.
The shooting happened along the banks of the North Elkhorn Creek in these woods here. State police say William Ray McKee pointed a gun at officers, so they had to fire at him. Deputies with the Scott County Sheriff's Office were looking for McKee in connection with the stolen weapon. They also said he was a person of interest in burglaries at a couple of horse farms. Scott County Sheriff Tony Hampton said they got word that he was camping in the woods near Lemons Mill Road and Newtown Pike last night.
Once we determined a location for him and were sure he had a firearm, we did request assistance from the Georgetown Police Department and the Kentucky State Police.
Police said they found McKee at a campsite along the bank of the North Elkhorn Creek. They say he had a gun.
Ultimately, contact was made with Mr. McKee, and as we know, a firearm was displayed towards law enforcement on scene, and it did result in a shooting.
Officers from the state police, Georgetown Police, and Scott County Sheriff's Office fired. It's unclear which officers hit McKee or how many times he was shot. At last check, he was listed in critical but stable condition. McKee was also under investigation in Franklin County, where investigators had dubbed him the Sock Bandit. The Franklin County Sheriff released this surveillance video a couple of weeks ago showing a man with the sock over his hand grabbing money from a gas station cash register. They believe that man was McKee. Kentucky State Police say there was a woman here at the campsite with McKee at the time. She is not facing any charges. In Scott County, Sean Moody, WKYT.
State police are leading the investigation into the shooting. All the officers involved are on administrative leave until the investigation is completed. 5 people had to be taken to the hospital after a crash in Lexington this afternoon. It happened on Russell Cave Road near Radcliffe Road. Lexington police say a Jeep Liberty T-boned a car on the driver's side. Police say that one of the drivers is 9 months pregnant, but they say that she and the 4 other people taken to the hospital all had non-life-threatening injuries. Police expect Russell Cave Road to reopen at any time.
We probably had to take a double take of the calendar today. It is the first day of June, but it doesn't feel like it outside. We've been tracking rain and much cooler than normal temperatures today. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey shows us what's on the First Alert Defender right now. Certainly not June-like out there.
Yeah, no, it really isn't. This is early March or early November-like temperatures and really conditions that we're seeing out there. A lot of heavy rains to start out the day, and it was a chilly rain out there. First day of summer break for a lot of the kiddos. Hey, congrats, kids. Today's rainfall numbers. Look at Harrodsburg, 1.34 inches, almost 1 inch of rain out of Bluegrass Airport in Lexington, Winchester, Paris, and Jackson coming in with right around 3/4 of an inch, and some of those areas could still pick up a little more. Right now, Lexington, overcast conditions, still a couple of raindrops showing up out there from time to time. 57 degrees in Lexington. Chilly start to June, yeah, you think? 62 degrees, the high for the day. That came at midnight. Since daybreak this morning, we have not been out of the 50s in Lexington. This is the coldest June high temperature we've had in Lexington in almost 50 years. You got to go back to 1967 to find a June day that had a high temperature cooler than the one we have out there now. And again, most of the daylight hours into the mid and upper 50s. Cool spot, Mount Sterling. 55 degrees. Nothing on live First Alert Defender west of 65 outside of a little sprinkle action. Across the rest of the area, still a little spotty rain shower as we go through the evening. Guys, we'll come back in a little bit to talk about a little bit of a mild up that shows up in that 7-day forecast less than 10 minutes from now.
Some disturbing accusations tonight against a Laurel County man. Investigators say he gave a 12-year-old girl marijuana.
The Laurel County Sheriff's Office arrested 18-year-old Andrew Burkhart over the weekend. Deputies say they found Burkhart and the girl together. Sam Smith is tracking the investigation, new tonight at 6.
Deputies say the arrest was made over the weekend. They say Saturday evening, they received a 911 call that started this investigation. That call claimed a 12-year-old girl was being held against her will.
When we got down there and conducted an investigation, we determined that she was not being held against her will, but that she had been there with an 18-year-old and some other people were in the residence as well.
Deputies say Andrew Burkhart is that 18-year-old.
He attempted to roll a marijuana cigarette and offered it to her, and she took it and they smoked the marijuana cigarette together.
Deputies say Burkhart and the girl are not related and are acquaintances.
Due to her age, she's not able to give consent, and plus this was an illegal act.
That's why he was arrested. As an 18-year-old, he's responsible. I went to the home today where deputies say this happened to see if anyone here wanted to share their side of the story, but no one answered the door. After the arrest, the girl was taken home by her family.
I'd say she's in trouble with her mom and dad if I were taking a guess, but other than that, no charges were placed on the juvenile.
Burkhart is charged with unlawful transaction with a minor and wanton endangerment. In Laurel County, Sam Smith, WKYT.
Burkhart will be arraigned on the charges in 2 weeks.
New tonight, dozens of boxes filled with medical records with personal information on them ended up in a Madison County dumpster. A man says he found the boxes outside a Richmond storage facility over the weekend. He says he took them to Baptist Health Richmond thinking the documents came from the hospital. But hospital leaders say the documents never belonged to them. They say the documents came from Richmond Radiology, a business that closed years ago. Baptist Health is holding on to the medical records for now until they can reach someone from the radiology business. We are tracking a crime alert in Lexington tonight. A string of burglaries this weekend targeted businesses around the city. Police say burglars broke into animal hospitals, storage units, even a daycare. And experts warn the summer months typically bring a spike in burglaries. Kristen Kennedy has the story.
Lexington police officers have been busy. They've responded to half a dozen calls of business break-ins. We're told thieves busted locks on units at Space Center Storage on Newtown Pike, and that they stole cash in a director's office inside this daycare on Wellington Way. Officers say someone broke into an acupuncture center and 2 animal hospitals.
They came through a back door situation, just ripped a door off the wall basically. Then they came up front. Clearly it's evident that they came in, got a cash drawer, removed some cash, stuff off the shelves that would have been there that could be resold, and made an exit towards the rear.
Dr. Mark Dobbs at Regency Animal Hospital says thieves took flea and tick medications, shampoos, and soaps.
Anything that could be resold like that would be potentially sold at an online pharmacy, flea market, Facebook, eBay, those type things.
Police told us the other veterinary office hit was Noah's Ark off Shenaway, and office managers here tell us that the thieves stole pets' prescription medications.
It's just not unusual to see a spike in certain areas of crime as the weather gets better.
Former Lexington Police Detective Don Evans remembers dealing with more break-ins in the summer months than winter.
The best protection for a business owner is to make sure that they have a good alarm system. I mean, police will tell you that.
In Lexington, Kristen Kennedy, WKYT.
Lexington police are currently reviewing surveillance video from many of the businesses broken into.
There are a little more than 800 parking spots on the streets of downtown Lexington. And on some weeknights, up to 63% of those spaces are filled. So parking can be at a premium. Now, some downtown business owners are worried about a private valet company taking up public spaces to turn a profit. Investigative reporter Miranda Combs explains.
It's after 5 on a Thursday night. In most of the city, metered spaces are free for the taking, but not here. Outside Tony's of Lexington, there are 4 spaces along Main Street lining the square and 4 spaces up Algonquin, reserved for valet.
The idea originated in how could we set up a sort of a universal valet where you create a zone, but other merchants and restaurants, customers could use it, so it's not just for one entity.
Gary Means with Lex Park says it's not just valet for Tony's. Tony's sponsored SP Plus valet service to start serving this spot, as is required by the parking authority.
The spaces are right in front of the door, you know, that helps enhance the experience.
It's $8 to use the valet service. steep, according to the owners of Sweet Spot,
They want the free parking.
who say customers aren't willing to pay that for a $3 ice cream.
So this is hurting your business.
It is. We've had numerous customers bring it to our attention.
They've just been here a couple of years.
We have lost quite a bit of our afternoon walk-in traffic.
Jim Sawyer has been here for 30 years. He supports city growth. He's watched these streets change for decades.
Economic growth is a really neat thing, but there's been vendors that have been down here for 30 years. I'm one of them, and fair-handed is one thing and unfair-handed is another. I'd really like to see something fair happen.
He says the balance is off. 8 spots reserved for a valet near his business is too much.
Well, I think part of the problem is that people, a lot of people don't think that there's enough parking downtown.
City Council member Siobhan Akers has been getting complaints from her constituents over the valet spots. She too wants to see growth here and entice businesses to come, but she says it's time to take another look at the parking authority's plan. She met with Lex Park just before our interview. There are 2 main issues. Why do the valet at the square require 8 spaces to operate? Means says it's set up that way for overflow for the valet.
Given a couple months, we can look at, do we reduce that 4 spots to 2 and maybe only on Friday and Saturdays, or do we take it away completely?
There's also an issue with cost on the part of the valet service. They pay the parking authority $100 a year for a permit. That's a low price compared to surrounding cities.
Why wouldn't the city use this more to their benefit?
Well, I think I understand that question, and it's one of those kind of things where we weren't making revenue at the time, and we still don't charge after 5. If we feel like that a lot of these start popping up here and there and it would start eating away at the inventory, that might make us look at it differently.
So I think that they are going to look at raising that fee maybe in the next year. These are 1-year leases or agreements, and so perhaps they will increase in the next year or so.
And I reached out to Central Parking, who's run by SP Plus, but wasn't able to get in touch with anyone. They are the valet parking service at the square. Means says that having a valet service isn't really a drain on space in the evenings because he says the turnover in spaces after 5 p.m. is very low anyway.
So you said the valet service pays the city $100 for a year.
Yes.
How does that compare with other cities? Because it seems awfully low.
And it is compared to some other cities. Columbus was more than $1,000 a year. Indianapolis was $2,500 a year. Of course, those cities are bigger, but that's a big difference. And a lot of the businesses around the area thought that was awfully low. So it's definitely something that Siobhan Akers and some others are wanting to look into a little further. All right, Miranda, thank you.